All right, welcome to Three Count Commentary. Let's talk about MLW because there's a lot to talk about when it comes to MLW. Actually, not really. The first match is Laredo Kid versus Gringo Loco. So the commentators went back to talking about the AAA Cruiserweight title, the quagmire that was the AAA Cruiserweight title. Now they claim that Laredo Kid refused to acknowledge the title win because Leo Rush tapped out during the match. And since he tapped out during the match, they want him to throw out the decision, and he's got a new AAA Cruiserweight title. And I just said, man, fuck out of here. Just fuck out of here. Okay? We better off never mentioning it again. We were better off never mentioning that Laredo Kid actually lost the AAA Cruiserweight title. We were better off never mentioning it again. Going back to it, like, this is not going to work. All right? Just let it go. All right? It makes no sense. Anyway, Laredo Kid wins. Who cares? So, Selena De La Renta was missing, and they was asking the question of where did she go? Where did she go? Where did she go? She had gotten black bagged by a guy. She got through a masked man, threw a bag over her head. So we found out at the end of the show that she was taken to Boyle Heights to meet Dario Cueto of Lucha Underground fame. And he cut this pretty good goddamn promo where he says to Selena, who still has the bag over her head because she doesn't know where she is, and she's whimpering, "Oh my God." Good shit, especially for her character because she has been very strong. But I'm getting into analysis before I get into what actually happened. So he says to her, if it was just me that you failed, I would forgive you. But you failed my believers. He says, all I asked for you after, bailing out Promociones Dorado, all I asked for you was gold and violence. That's all I wanted. And you couldn't even do that. I gave you access to the best fighters in the world, and you still failed. Then he says, you're lucky. I'm building a new temple, and it requires sacrifices. Then his phone rings. He answers the phone. He says, Philadelphia? Sure, I'll be there July 10th. I'll see you there. And then he motions for them to take Selena away. So we got Dario Cueto on MLW. This is fucking awesome. Doubling back to my analysis, I love this. I've always liked the Dario Cueto character. Now, they did kill him in Lucha Underground. So this has to be, well, this is Dario Cueto's father. This is Dario Cueto, right? So for those of you who follow Lucha Underground to a degree, Dario Cueto was killed in season 3, I believe. He was killed, and then his dad took over, which is basically just a guy who was looking old in season 4 or whatever. I think he was the general manager of the last season. And the dad was okay, but we all would love the Dario Cueto. He was very good as being very smooth and yet very menacing. I'm definitely surprised no other wrestling promotion thought to bring him in. Like, that was so dumb. Like, this guy could have, I guess because they didn't want to use Dario Cueto. But, he could have been so good as, like, the man behind the whole thing. Like, if they did it in WWE or NXT or something like that, and he just had to do these smoky room promos, it could have been so good. But MLW is cool too, and they're going to let him basically just do Dario Cueto. And they're basically just going to do Azteca Underground. It's basically just going to be Lucha Underground in MLW. I would make a joke like Court Bauer that has no original ideas whatsoever, because when he first started MLW, he just stole from ECW. He just stole a lot of ECW's ideas. Hybrid wrestling, extreme wrestling. He even had some of the same guys like Carino and Funk and C.W. Anderson and all those guys. And then that shit ended up flopping. Now he came back, and now he's just going to steal from Lucha Underground. I would make that statement, but I'm not going to, because I like Lucha Underground. It went off the rails after season 2, I believe. But I like Lucha Underground in its totality. I want to see what new twist they're going to put on it. And it's going to be on Vice, so they're going to get to do a little bit more. I'm interested. I'm down with this. Selena has been a very strong character on this show, and now they're putting her in a weakened position. And even after they told us that she was, a mini boss, she had been pushed down to mini boss status. Selena still was still had a big mouth. She was still trying to exercise authority and exercise power. So now we're showing you that this is the boss, And I'm guessing there's probably going to be somebody above him because there was somebody above him in Lucha Underground, So, I wonder, like, they're probably not going to bring back Matanza because Matanza was Jeff Cobb and Jeff Cobb is in New Japan. So is it they're going to bring in Matanza? It's just be somebody different. They could just have somebody different under the gear. That would be cool, or maybe, I wonder how much of the Lucha Underground they're going to take. But in any event, Dario Cueto was fucking cool. All right. El Jefe, cool. I love that. That was great. Now let's get back to the rest of the MLW. Hammerstone cut a promo, basically where he said that he was frustrated that Joseph Samael refused his challenge and says that if Fatu isn't the one who's scared. Fatu ain't ducking me. Fatu wants to fight me. He probably believes his own hype. It's you who's scared, Joseph Samael. You know that Fatu ain't invincible. But when you're ready to stop protecting him, I'll wrestle him. And I'll win the MLW World Title. I was like, okay. There was some other stuff that he said in here too, but that was the gist of it. It got the point across. I like how, he's like, okay, Jacob Fatu is probably legit. He's probably a man. He's probably got his balls. He's ready to fight. But it's you who's the problem, Joseph. This is Rocky 3, I believe it was. Wasn't it? When Rocky was, when Clubber Lang wanted to fight Rocky. You murderize your rock. and Mickey didn't want it. You can't fight this guy. He'll kill you. What do you mean? I'll beat the other guys. I'll beat them. Like, you don't understand this guy, Rock. You don't got the eye of a tiger. So I guess that's where we're going with this. Is probably going to have some type of issue between Joseph Samael and Jacob Fatu. That's what I thought. And then Alicia Toot showed up and was like, oh, we got to, sure, Joseph Samael can gatekeep, but he can't gatekeep the winner of the Battle Riot because the Battle Riot is the one thing that is a mandatory title shot. So they started talking about, well, we need to build the Battle Riot roster, so we had to have a draft, and there's going to be all of these people from all of these different wrestling promotions who want to be in Battle Riot to have a chance at the MLW World Title. And I was just kind of like, oh. So instead of doing some dramatic stuff that leads to Samael and Fatu kind of arguing with each other or whatever the case may be, we're just going to have Hammerstone win Battle Riot, force the title match, and then win. Okay. Fine, I guess. I guess it keeps Contra from bickering with each other, which I kind of hate. I do hate when groups are infighting. So, okay, cool. There was some shit about Divine Eric's. Who cares? Richard Holliday defeated Ariel Dominguez, who I believe I've seen 100 times, and he is very, very small. After the match, Richard Holliday was about to have a promo, about to talk to Alicia Toot. And then Gino Medina confronted him, and he says, oh, yeah, it's a Consumer Nino's this, and, you're not dynastic. And Gino Medina was very offended. And then he says, look, I got to cut this promo. I'm about to talk to this lady, about to have an interview. Well, I believe he actually said interview. He didn't say the word promo, which was very professional of him. And Alicia Toot also asked him to go away. And, Richard Holliday was like, look, just respect the lady, respect the lady's time. Whatever you got to say, we'll say it. You'll say it in a minute. I'll talk to you later. We'll get back to you in a minute. And Gino Medina was like, okay, I respect the lady. Then, of course, he attacked him from behind and then DDT'd him on the floor. And I was like, okay. I don't see why we need to continue with this Gino Medina thing. The kid, I don't think he's got anything personally. He just doesn't have the personality. But maybe it's the presentation. I just think he's pretty boring. He's just a boring kid. Sorry. He's just boring to me. The main event was fine. The match was kind of long, though. Myron Reed regains the MLW middleweight title over Leo Rush. Took about 15 minutes to do it. The show started with Rush laughing, ha ha, claiming that he's going to win, clear out the division, and then melt the MLW title down and retire. Reed says he ain't going out sad, and he didn't go out sad. Myron Reed, the match was good. It was, but I was kind of like, I kind of felt like they were stretching it. Like it was like they was trying to stretch it to be longer to make it feel more epic. But I did like that Leo Rush reversed the in and out cutter. There's this cutter that Myron Reed does when he runs in the ring, jumps, grabs your head, and the two of you go outside the ring, and he basically does an RKO on the floor. So essentially, they did that, and Leo Rush landed on his feet. So he countered it, and I like that. I really wish they need to stop doing it, but it was cool. Myron Reed actually kicked out of Leo Rush's finish, which would have been sweet. Leo Rush then tried to do his DiCaprio, and he was like, "Oh my God, he kicked out of my finish." And then he just took forever to let it sink in. And then he took even longer unraveling the tape on his arms. Because I'm like, why? Like, why are you unraveling the tape on your arms? He just stood there and did it. Did it. It took like 2 minutes, And then when Myron Reed finally got back up, he hit him with I'm about to call it the white noise. I forget, they can call it the Captain Crunch, which is the same move. And then he did the no cap splash, which is a springboard 450, and won the title back. And you know what? Solid enough match. I think I like their first match more. I think Leo was probably done with MLW. I hope they can get him back and maybe send him up the card a little bit. But it was a decent run while it lasted. Now Myron Reed is the only 2-time champion in MLW. At least that's what they told me. I don't know if that's true or not. In any event, show was very solid. The Dario Cueto reveal was great. The main event was pretty good. Getting to that point was kind of harsh though, because I was like, oh no, Ariel Dominguez, oh no. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys, and I'll talk to you guys later.